Hello everyone, I'm Crafty and today I'm gonna talk about something very special for me. I'm gonna talk about the fact that we actually reached Masters! Yay! So we actually reached Master with Dragunity, which is a feat that I am proud of. Like I'm really happy about this. To be honest with you guys, I did not intend to grind for this. Like I really didn't intend to reach master. The only reason why I did it is because I found myself in Diamond 3 playing casually. So I just said to myself, you know what, since I'm already in Diamond 3, I might as well just grind a little bit more and try to reach masters basically, right? I just wanted to attempt to do it. I was not uh, like uh, I was not intending to actually do it like for a long period of time. Like it's only like for the past few days that I actually decided to do that, and I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it because I wanted to prove to myself, you know what? Can I actually reach masters with this deck? Well, the answer is yes. Now, granted, it's only Master 5, but I'm happy with that. I'm happy. Like I don't need to reach Master 1. Like I think the climb from Master 5 to Master 1 is just about time investment. To be honest, like if you grind long enough, you're gonna reach it. But reaching Master in itself was really hard, and it was a very exhausting experience. I'm gonna tell you that, and I will explain why in a little bit. But first of all, let me introduce you to myself for those who are new to the channel, and maybe for the people who don't really know me like very well as a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I mean, so I only play Master Duel like in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh basically. So I only enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh in Master Duel. I don't play TCG. The biggest reason why I don't play TCG is because in my country I don't have access to the actual physical cards, so I can't even play paper Yu-Gi-Oh even if I wanted to, and we don't have a scene in my country because like I live in North Africa, so I don't have like access to the cards, and there are ways to access cards, but like you need to go through black markets and it's very expensive and whatnot. So yeah, I just don't bother with paper Yu-Gi-Oh. So I don't play TCG, and I don't usually like follow the news in TCG unless the news is actually in my face, like in Discord or Twitter or whatever. So yeah, I only play Master Duel, and I only enjoy Master Duel casually. Like I don't grind Master Duel. I don't like. I'm not competitive. I don't join any tournaments or whatnot. I just play for fun. Like I just play for like try to enjoy my beloved archetype on Master Duel and just try to have fun, right? And I'm really glad that I put in at least the effort the past few days to try to climb to Masters, and I'm glad I did it. Okay, so when I say I'm a casual player, I only play like I said, 2 to 3 days a week, maybe like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, like per day. That's pretty much it. So not too much. But in the past few days, like a couple of days, I've actually grinded for more than that, just to try to get to that rank. So how did that climb went? So like I said, the climb was really hard and it was really exhausting. And the reason for that is because uh, by the end of the climb, I faced a lot of floodgate decks and a lot of oppressive decks, right? Some of them meta, some of them not meta. Actually, I faced more non-meta decks than actual meta decks, and I think it makes sense. I will explain why in a little bit. Okay, so why was it exhausting? So first of all, my climb started from platinum, of course, because last season I ended on Diamond 3. So if I show the history here real quick. So last season I was Diamond 3. So I started the season in Platinum 5, right? So I played from Platinum 5 and then I reached Diamond 3 again. And only when I reached Diamond 3 again that I decided that, okay, might as well just try to go for Masters, right? So, and because I started from Platinum 5, the beginning of the ranked climb was not too bad, actually. It was not too bad. I faced a lot of variety of decks. I still face some floodgate decks here and there, but the rate at which I faced the floodgate decks in lower ranks, like in plat and early diamond, was not that high. I actually faced more variety of decks while climbing, and it was a somewhat enjoyable experience. Okay, like there was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of games that was not decided by max C, and I wasn't even playing max C at the start myself. Like at the start, like from early platinum, I only decided to play max C as I climbed up because the card is just too strong, too oppressive to not be played, basically. So yeah, so at the start it was fine until I reached Diamond 4, Diamond 3. After that, it was just downhill from there. When I say downhill, I mean like the experience went downhill from there. Like it was really bad from Diamond 3 to Masters. A lot of floodgate decks, a lot of like very oppressive decks. Like you would be surprised by how little I actually faced meta decks in Diamond, which is crazy. Like most of the decks that I faced in Diamond are like either floodgate decks or some weird piles that are really oppressive. Let me show you some example of the decks that I faced. So the most recent one is, oh, okay, so this is just Runic Naturia. Kudos to this guy for playing this deck like in Diamond 1. I thought this deck is more of a master deck than Diamond, but this guy is just living the dream, I guess. Did he reach Masters? He's still in Diamond 1. Okay. So yeah, this guy was playing Naturia Runic. I actually faced him twice in the same day. This is the second game. The first game I also won, but I saved the second game because he actually used Kelbeck on my Guidurk, which is really fun. So yeah. So what was this? Okay, so this was Steel Element. This was a really fun replay. By the way, in this video, I'm not gonna show any replays. I will leave that for another video because I just want to use this video and this opportunity to just talk about my experience, like during the climb. So yeah, here I just wanted to showcase some decks that people were playing. So yeah, so for example, look at this deck. So so Diamond 3, okay? So look at this deck. This deck seems fine at first glance, right? Like it's just another Kashtira deck basically, which was playing like a lot of hand traps and board breakers and even like red reboot, right? It's not really weird list, right? Until you look at the extra deck and you realize, there is something weird about this list. This guy was actually playing the Arrival Cybers. And the reason why I saved this replay is because he actually managed to summon this guy with 5 materials, so I had to deal with a 5,000 attack point, the Arrival Cybers at Ignister. And a fucking Kashtira deck. Let that sink in, okay? And this is the first problem that we run into when you try to climb in high diamond and try to reach masters. People are getting desperate. This is the first thing that I noticed when I reached like Diamond 3 and Diamond 2. People are getting too desperate to reach masters. They will play anything to reach masters. They will play floodgates. They will play some weird combo decks that just locks your opponent from playing the game. And they will even go as far as trying to fit in the Arrival Cybers at Ignister in a fucking Kashtira deck. Let that sink in. Of course, I ended up winning this game. I ended up outing this card. I'm not gonna show the replay here. You're gonna need to either go to my masterduel profile and watch it yourself, or wait for the video when I upload these replays in a separate video. Okay, so yeah, that was one example of players getting desperate. Another example, what was this guy playing? Oh yeah, this guy was playing also random shit. Like this guy was playing like skill drain in Labyrinth. He was playing Gamma. He was playing five-headed dragon for some reason. Okay, I guess it's a target for dogmatic punishment, I guess. You would assume he's gonna play like super poly with that, but no. Yeah, so you're gonna see some weird lists. This one, yeah, this one is just valence with floodgates. Like people are getting desperate, and of course I won this game as well. Like when you face these type of decks, you need to like stay patient and disciplined to try and get the win. Like because people who play these type of decks only play these decks because they know that they're gonna get easy and simple, like easy and quick wins with it. Because as soon as the opponent is gonna see the floodgates, they're gonna scoop, right? But if they don't scoop and actually play the game, well, that's a problem for them. And again, you're gonna wait. You're gonna need to wait for this replay to be shown. And yeah, so basically there's a lot of decks like this, like either oppressive decks like the Sprite decks that go first and just put out an unbreakable board and whatnot. So yeah, like what are these decks? Another Kashtira Element. This guy is playing good old-fashioned floodgate decks. Yeah, you see the point. You see the point. People are getting desperate in Diamond to reach Masters, and that made the experience really, really bad. So I had to tweak my deck list a lot of times to try and climb. So let's check the deck list. So the deck lists, I went through different iterations of the deck list, and each iteration had a purpose, right? So from Platinum to Diamond 3, I just wanted to have fun, and I just used my regular 50 card deck list that I actually mentioned in the guide, and I actually did like a full guide, in-depth guide about it. So this is the deck list that I used from Platinum until I reached Diamond 3, right? And if you want to see like this deck and you want to see my analysis of this deck and why I played this deck the way it is and whatnot, you can check my part 1 of the guide where I go in depth and explain everything. So this is the deck list I used to go from Plat to Diamond 3. Then around Diamond 3, I started facing way too many floodgate decks, way too many oppressive decks, so I needed to try to adapt, okay? So at first, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna not play Maxi and try to go full gas, full engine and see how it goes. And to be honest, I got some wins, but I also got some losses. So I win some, I lose some. I was not really climbing. I was stagnant in Diamond 3. Sometimes I even like demote to Diamond 4 and then climb back to Diamond 3. Like that actually happened to me a lot of times. Like the demotion and promotion between Diamond 3 and Diamond 4 happened to me a lot with this deck and with the other deck, like the regular 50 card deck. So yeah. When I saw that I was stagnant, I said to myself, okay, I need to do something else. I need to try to tweak the deck list in other ways. And the reason why this deck list is called I don't give a fuck is because I actually did not give a fuck at that point. Like I was like demoted and promoted a lot of times. So I said, you know what, fuck this. Get Maxi out of here. Get all the bullshit out of here. Let me play full gas Dragunity and see how it goes. You know what I mean? And I even used Kashtira to like a small Kashtira engine with 2 Fenrir and 1 Rise Hard, just for that extra boost and extra consistency boost in this particular deck list to see how it goes and to see how much gas can this deck generate. And this deck is my favorite deck of all of them because it has so much gas, but the problem is that it's very vulnerable to Maxi and it's very vulnerable to a lot of hand traps. Like you need specific hands to deal with Maxi and other hand traps, because you're only running realistically Ash and Called by the Grave. That's it, right? So you either see them in your hand, or you just hope that your opponent doesn't have anything, right? But God, like when this deck goes, it goes. Like it goes hard. Like when you go uninterrupted, God, this deck is so fun. Like using the Kashtira engine, whether as a extra disruption on the field, or you literally go into like Arsenal Falcon and start your combo like that. Because Falcon can actually get you access to either Zephyros very early on, or it can get you access to Senatus, which can start your play. And Falcon is a winged beast, so you can either use it to link into Romulus. So yeah, this deck is so fun to play. However, because you don't run a lot of like hand traps, it's a bit weaker than the other decks, basically, right? But it's so much fun to play. So yeah, so I played this deck, and I actually climbed with it to Diamond 2, right? But unfortunately, I demoted to Diamond 3 and then climbed back to Diamond 2 again, and it happened again. So I went from stagnating between Diamond 4 and 3 to stagnating between Diamond 3 and 2. So then I needed, okay, you know what? This list has potential, but it's not getting me where I need it to be, basically, right? So that's where I swapped to the Kaiju variant of Dragunity. So I said, okay, since I'm in Diamond 2, let me try Kaiju and see how it goes. So I played this deck list, and of course I put back the Maxi. I played a very minimalistic engine and everything. I did not go full ham on the engine. Like I played 47 cards. The only hand traps, of course, is Maxi, Ash, and Called by the Grave. That's it. I just was hoping that was enough, basically. And this deck performed more than I expected. It performed really well, and it allowed me to win many games going first through disruption because of Saryuja and because of Saryuja and the fact that I can play Gamma Seal. Like when you set up the Gamma Seal control setup with your other half of the end board, this deck is very, very hard to beat. Okay, the problem with this deck, however, is that it's very difficult to pilot. So the only reason why I did not play this deck a lot and I did not stick to it is because this deck requires constant thinking. And as someone who has like low attention span and like I get exhausted really quickly. Like I can't play for too much anyways, let alone play too much with a deck that requires a lot of thinking. Like I get exhausted really quickly. That's why when I pull out this deck list, it's only when it's necessary, and it's only when I need like a couple of wins to get to where I need to go, and then that's it. Like I just go back to my standard variant, because the standard variant is still hard, but it's less hard than this deck. So at least I can relax a little bit more when I play the standard version as opposed to this version. But this version is really, really good when it gets going. Oh, like this deck is actually even better than the standard version. But the problem is that it's very hard to pilot and it requires a lot more thinking. So I only put out this deck list when I feel like I need to spice it up a little bit and I need to win a little bit more, and I have actually the mental capacity to play it, basically. Because if I'm tired or I don't feel like it, like I'm not gonna play this deck list. No way I'm playing this deck list when I'm tired or like I'm not in the good mood, basically. Like this deck list requires a specific mental state and mood to play, for me at least, for me. So yeah, but it's really good and it's really fun to play, and it's really fun to try to solve the puzzle in front of your hand, basically. How the fuck are you gonna navigate your hand to put out your board? Because this deck can generate weird hands that are really fun to solve. So yeah, so once I reached Diamond 2, I started thinking about implementing board breakers because I was facing a lot of like a lot of floodgate decks, a lot of like really weird shit, and yeah, it got me pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. Like it got me tilted. Like around Diamond 2, I got tilted, and because I decided to grind for masters, and usually when I decide something, I stick to it. Like it's just by principle. So I got tilted. So I changed my deck list to look something like this. It's not pretty. I actually hate this deck list, but unfortunately, it gets the job done. So in Diamond 2, I pulled out this deck list. I went with very minimalistic approach to the Dragunity engine, like one Baby Rock, one Phalanx, one Senatus. I kept the two Legatus because I think two Legatus is necessary in this deck. I even cut out the Baldrake and cut out one Lobelian. Like very minimalistic on the like main deck monsters. Of course, all of that to make room for Max C and for the board breakers, right? And you notice in this list, I started with 3 Dark Ruler No More and 3 Evenly. And I put in 2 Whirlwind and I cut out the Called by the Grave. The reason why is because during the days I was playing this deck, I was losing coin tosses left and right. I think when I win a coin toss, I win a coin toss once every maybe 7 games or 8 games or something. It was ridiculous. I was going second every single time and I got fed up with it, and like I got pissed off basically because I lost so many coin tosses and I lost so many games because I went second and I got max seed on the next turn. So what am I gonna do, right? So because of that, I just, you know what, since I'm losing, I was just like, you know what, since I'm losing coin tosses anyway, might as well do like make a build that can go first and second, but lean more towards going second, right? That's why I made this deck list without Called by the Grave. And the reason why I didn't implement Called by the Grave here is because, one, I wanted the deck to be as close to 44 or 45 cards to maximize the chances to see my maxi and board breakers. And two, Called by the Grave is not really good going second because for one, it can get negated by whatever end board the other guy made on his first turn. And two, Called by the Grave is not a starter, so it can brick my hands. Like playing 44 cards with maxi and with the board breakers like these, you already run the risk to brick yourself, right? If you add Called by the Grave on top of that, you run even more risks to brick even more, right? You don't want to see Called by the Grave in your opening hand going second. You want to see starters and at least one of the board breakers. That's what you want to see, right? And ideally, you want to also see a Whirlwind with the board breakers. Okay? The reason why I don't run 3 Whirlwind here is because I thought it was too much and I wanted to keep the deck as low on card counts as possible, so I can see max C and the board breakers. That's why I only played 2. Usually you want to play 3, but it is what it is, I guess. So yeah. So and because this ratio, I found it the most consistent. And if you guys don't know me, because I'm a casual player, I don't really go into statistics or like try to use external resources to try to make the perfect deck. Like I'm not really good at deck building. I only deck build with by feeling, and then I just test a lot of hands and see if the hands are consistent or not. That's how I do it basically. So the old way, the old-fashioned way basically. I do it. So yeah. So I made this deck list and it performed. However, when it performs really well. Like more people scooped to this deck list than any other deck lists, for a reason. Because like look at these board breakers. But yeah, this deck performed, but it was really boring to play because most of the time I just break the board and either like wipe the board with Black Rose Dragon or just go full combo and watch them scoop as soon as they see Ascalon. Oh well, right? Like it was very boring to play this deck. It was getting me the wins that I needed, but it was very boring. And by the end of like the grind to go from Diamond 2 to Diamond 1, it got a little bit bricky, and I started facing less and less floodgate decks and decks that requires board breakers to beat. So I decided to move from this deck list to the final deck list that I used to climb from Diamond 1 to Master, which is this one. So this one is similar to the other one, except I swapped the cards. So now, instead of running a minimalistic engine in the main deck, so instead of running low amount of cards of like main engine Dragunity, I instead bumped up the engine. Like I bumped up like Baby Rock, Phalanx, Senatus. I played like Divine Lance, and I cut down on the board breakers. So I only run one Dark Ruler and two Evenly. So from three and three, I went down to just 1 and 2. The reason for that is, one, I wanted to keep the card count to 45-ish and 44, 45-ish. For the same reasons, I wanted to see Maxi more, but also I wanted to see my engine more, because this deck list is like a weird way of balancing things between going first and going second. If you go first, you have more chances to draw into your starters and start playing, while also drawing into Maxi and Ash, right? When you go second, there is also a chance that you draw into your board breakers as well, right? And the reason why I run 2 Evenly and 1 Dark Ruler instead of the other way around is because I found out that Evenly is more impactful than Dark Ruler, because most Dark Ruler is only good against very specific decks like Sprite, but Evenly is good against more variety of targets, right? Especially the floodgate decks. The floodgate decks don't want to face this card, so that's why I have 2 of this and only 1 of this. So yeah, and as you can see, I reinstated Called by the Grave here, which makes sense here, because with this deck list, I'm not trying to go second, or I'm not hoping to go second. With this deck list, at least when I go first, I have a way to deal with Maxi, right? So that's why I put back in the Called by the Grave. And because I wanted Called by the Grave in again, and I wanted to keep Maxi in and keep the card count to 45, I had to cut down on the board breakers. So this is like the perfect deck list that I played between Diamond 1 and Master, and it got the job done. However, it got the job done in 4 hours. I spent 4 hours in Diamond 1 trying to get to Masters, which is something that I don't usually do. Like I said, I'm a casual player, but you know what? I bite the bullet and I just stick with it, and thankfully it paid off, basically. So this is the very last build that I made that got me from Diamond 1 to Masters, and it got the job done. I saw Maxi when I needed. I saw Evenly when I needed it, mostly. And when I go first, I saw my starters more often than I realized. And yeah, so I just climbed from Diamond 1 to Masters with this deck list, and it paid off. It paid off. So yeah. One last note, I saw a lot of people ask me on Discord and even on the deck list that I put out on Master Duel Meta, because yeah, I actually, yeah, that reminds me actually. So because I reached Masters, I actually put my deck list on the Master Duel Discord, and they put it on the Master Duel Meta as a top deck. In Master. So if you go to the top decks in Master Duel Meta, you're gonna see there is one new Dragunity deck list that's actually mine, which is actually was one of my goals when I reached master. Like I wanted to put my name on this page, like the top decks page. I wanted to put Dragunity on this page as a top deck amongst other decks, which I'm really happy about. So if you go to this list, you're gonna see the very last list that I showed you with some notes. Unfortunately, the notes are not updated, but they still get the job done. Like for some reason, when you apply and with the deck list on the Discord, they cannot change the notes. The notes don't update automatically, basically, even if you update the notes from the deck builder. But it's okay, it doesn't matter. Like you have the links there for my YouTube channel and for the in-depth guide. You have some like notes in there. So yeah, you can see the deck list here. There are already like some comments, and I was surprised that a lot of people have asked me, like here and on Discord, why do you play Borrow Load? Like, why do you play Borrow Load Dragon? And I was surprised by that because Borrow Load Dragon is a really strong card. And the reason why I use it is because it outs Borrow and Dragon. How does it do that? Well, if you don't know, Borrow and Dragon targets when it negates. Yes, you cannot respond to it, but it still needs to target, right? Borrow Load Dragon, it cannot be targeted with monster effects. Like, neither player can target this card with monster effects. So, basically, Borrow and Dragon cannot negate Borrow Load Dragon. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that Borrow Load Dragon has non-targeted removal in its effect. Because you just place a monster from the opponent's turn to your side of the field. You don't target the monster or whatnot. So Borrow and Dragon can be stolen from a Dragon Link player, basically, with Borrow Load Dragon. That's why I play Borrow Load Dragon. That's the whole reason. Well, not the whole reason, but the main reason. The main reason I play Borrow Load Dragon is to out Borrow and Dragon, because unfortunately in our deck we don't have an in-engine card that can out Borrow End when you face Dragon Link. And because Dragon Link is always strong in the meta, you kinda need a card to deal with Borrow End. And for us, that card is Borrow Load Dragon. However, Borrow Load Dragon has other applications because it happens to also counter Baguska, because it's a link monster with like more attack than Baguska. And it also happens to be another out to IP Avramax. Because we can deal with IP Avramax with like cards like Crystal Wing and Arid Bear or whatnot, but we have other ways to deal with IP Avramax. But for Baguska and Borrow and Dragon, we have Borrow Load Dragon to out those cards, basically. So that's why I play Borrow Load Dragon. I'm really surprised that not more people play this card. Like, to be honest with you, like this card is crazy. Like it outs a lot of towers, a lot of hard to out monsters, and yeah, that's why I play it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I think I shared most of my thoughts. And so yeah, I'm really glad that I reached Master with Dragunity. Like, I'm really glad that I put Dragunity out there as a potential deck that you can reach Master with. And yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy about that. And I'm hoping that you also are happy for Dragunity to be considered a deck that you can reach Master with. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys found this retelling of my journey through the ranked climb interesting. And I hope you enjoyed my TED talk here. And I hope you guys have a nice day. If you have any feedback, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. And next video, probably I'm just gonna go through these replays, either by commenting on them or just put them out there, or you can just go into my Master Duel like profile and watch them on your own. Like it's up to you. So yeah. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.